Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honour to stand today to speak about my 21-year career here at the Ontario Legislature. Thank you to my wife, Christine, and our children, Abigail, Renee, Stuart, and Winston, for their support and understanding for those years. I'd like to begin by thanking my current and past members of my team, some who have joined us here today. Christine Marshall from my Bracebridge office and Emily Britton from my Parry Sound office have joined us here today. Karen Govro is holding the fort back in Bracebridge. Thank you all for your great work helping constituents with a variety of constituency issues. I run into people all the time that tell me how they were well treated and looked after when they contacted my office. Leslie Law has been my executive assistant for the past 5 years and past campaign manager. Dedicated, creative, hardworking, and a key part of my current team. Thanks for always keeping it fun and for the many ideas and for thinking of little things that I would not think of. And thank you, I've got a lot of staff, so that might be over the years. And thank you, Jess Fargo-Lee, who is currently away on maternity leave with Penelope. Jess, you did a fantastic job. I wish you well in whatever you choose to do next. Also, I would like to thank my past staff members. Thank you to my original staff when I was first elected in 2001. Kelly Christ Hergarten of Parry Sound, my first legislative assistant, now keeper of our boat at Parry Sound Marine. Mandy Davis from Huntsville, who worked in the Bracebridge constituency office, and my first executive assistant, Katie McCann, who got the challenging job of organizing our team from scratch. Thank you all. Marcia Morrison, who was for many years my key person at Queen's Park and always so pleasant and helpful. Thank you. I hope you are enjoying your retirement. Yvonne Parkhill, who provided great service in Bracebridge for many years. Inga Juno, who was my executive assistant for 11 years and did an amazing job before moving on to bigger and better things, has joined us in the gallery. I will never forget our week-long road trip around the north when I was Northern Critic, 6 nights, 7 days, 44 hours of driving, and a multitude of meetings along the way, all perfectly organized by you. Also in the gallery is Adam Blosky, who was my EA for 5 years and helped out with a few campaigns. Lots of good memories along the way, and hopefully the odd golf game together in retirement. Finally, thank you to Jesse Crisp, who worked for over 40 years as a constituency assistant for Ernie Eves and then for me in Parry Sound before retiring last year. I think that may be some kind of record. I appreciate your many years of dedicated support to me. I've also been privileged to have been selected by 17 Ontario legislative interns for their placement. That, I'm told, is a record as well. And it has been a pleasure to have these bright, enthusiastic, younger people in my office. Thank you for choosing me. My current legislative intern, Claire Simon, is in the gallery, and I think I see Melody Graves up there as well. So welcome and thank you. To those MPPs who have never applied to host an OLIP intern in your office, I strongly encourage you to do so. They bring energy and enthusiasm and a fresh perspective to the office. Today, I'm wearing, in memory of my father, Frank Miller, his Royal Stuart tartan jacket. The same jacket that he wore to deliver a number of Ontario budgets as Treasurer, as it was then called, in the Davis government from 1978 to 83. I don't think I would have become involved in politics if I had not shared an apartment with him while attending Ryerson from 1975 to 79. It motivated me to start the Muskoka Young PCs, get involved in his campaigns, and develop an interest in politics. Although at the end of his career, there were a few unpleasant things that happened that made me wonder aloud on a few occasions, why would anyone in their right mind want to be a politician? That question was answered loud and clear to me at his funeral in July of 2000, when hundreds and hundreds of people told me stories of how he had helped them in so many different ways. The next year, when then Finance Minister Ernie Eves resigned as the MPP for Parry Sound Muskoka, the opportunity arose and I decided to take the plunge to see if it was going to be as bad as I thought it might be. It wasn't. I'd also like to pay tribute to my mother, Anne MacArthur Norman, the rock who kept our family grounded. Of course, when my father was first elected in 1971, there were no constituency offices, so our home was the constituent office, and the calls came in the phone in our kitchen. I will point out that the phone was also used for our family business, Patterson K Lodge, so when the phone rang, it could be a personal call, someone wanting to reserve a cottage, or it could be a constituent looking for help with a provincial issue. Luckily, my mother was a very strong woman who could balance serving as father's unpaid constituency assistant, as well as running a lodge and raising 4 children who might or might not have always been well behaved. After my mother passed away in 2016, my brothers and sister and I all purchased MacArthur tartan kilts in memory of my mother, who was born in Glasgow, Scotland. As the son of an MPP, it is interesting to be serving with the children of former colleagues in the member for Kitchener-Conestoga, Mike Harris, and the member for Simcoe North, Jill Dunlop. I know their parents are very proud of them. And it has been a pleasure to work closely with some other second-generation politicians, in particular 2 who were elected shortly after I was in 2003, John Yakubuski and Laurie Scott. And I hope the Speaker will excuse my using their names on this occasion. Yak does seem to make it his mission in life to poke fun at me, but I have managed to play the odd trick on him as well. We have shared many experiences together, some good, some not so good. I consider you both to be good friends and look forward to staying in touch. I would also like to congratulate other members who are retiring, in particular some I have served the longest time with. Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Christine Elliott. Christine, thank you for your terrific service to the people of this province, especially the past 2 very challenging years. I hope you get to enjoy your cottage in Haliburton and have some well-deserved time for yourself and your family. And the member for Simcoe Grey, Jim Wilson. Jim was MPP long before I was elected. I was appointed as his parliamentary assistant in 2002 when he was Minister of Northern Development and Mines. And I thank him for his many years of service in a variety of positions. Best of luck in whatever you do next. There are a few other members who were here before I arrived who I expect will be back after the next election. Toby Barrett, Ernie Hardeman, and of course our Speaker, Ted Arnott. Thank you all for your friendship and support throughout my career. While Ontario is a big province with a huge population, it is amazing how our lives can be interconnected. The Speaker's wife, Lisa, has taught 3 of our 4 grandchildren. In fact, when Lisa told 4-year-old Malcolm that she knew his granddad, Malcolm ran up to her and gave her a big hug. And on the other side of the House, the member for Timmins, I want to share a quick story. Early on in my career, Gilles Bisson had a private member's bill, Bill 97, the First Nation Resource Revenue Sharing Act, that was considered by the Standing Committee on Finance and Economic Affairs. And I was on the committee for a series of hearings around Northern Ontario, mainly in his riding, Ottawapiskat, Moosonee. I jokingly referred to the tour as the Gilles Bisson re-election tour. Traveling committees are one of the ways members on opposite sides of this House get to know each other, something I think that is a very good thing. As the pandemic subsides, I would encourage future governments to resume having committee travel, because it gives people outside of Toronto a chance to interact with government and influence government decisions, but also because it has the side effect of improving relations between government and opposition members, which helps to turn down the temperature here in the chamber, something I'm sure the Speaker would appreciate. Of course, I will miss many other friends on both sides of the aisle, but if I tried to tell a story about each one, I'm sure the Speaker would have to cut me off. I would like to thank the people of Parry Sound Muskoka for your trust and support. Many of the elections I ran in were not great for the PC party province-wide. I thank you for your trust in me. I hope that you feel I've represented you faithfully. Thank you to the staff here at the Legislative Assembly, without whom we as elected members wouldn't be able to do our jobs. The table staff, protocol, cleaners, cafeteria, security, always professional, friendly, and helpful. I also want to thank the hundreds of young people who come to the Legislature to serve as our pages. Meeting these young people who are so interested in politics and government has been one of the joys of being an MPP. I never did get a chance to say goodbye to Frank Felice, the legislative barber, who retired in the midst of COVID. He cut my father's hair, he cut Yakubuski's hair, although there wasn't much to work with there, and he cut my hair. He could probably write a book with all the stories that he has heard. And Frank, as you can see, I haven't found a replacement for when I need a haircut here at Queen's Park. I would also like to thank the leaders of our party I've served with. I was elected when Mike Harris was Premier, then Ernie Eves came out of retirement to be Leader and Premier, John Tory, Tim Hudak, Patrick Brown, and then Premier Ford. It's not an easy job leading a party, and I thank you for all your hard work and dedication. I hope that I have made a lasting impact, particularly on the environment with my private member bills, product stewardship, producer responsibility, waste diversion, composting, and reducing dock foam pollution. As a long-standing member of the All-Party Cycling Caucus, I look forward to seeing more paved shoulders continue to make cycling safer in rural Ontario. Hopefully in retirement, my wife Christine and I will make use of some of them. And I hope that one of my colleagues will bring back my Life Jackets for Life PMB in the next Parliament. I have had great experiences as MPP, the opportunity to meet people like my all-time favorite hockey player, Bobby Orr, at the opening of the Bobby Orr Hall of Fame and annually at the induction ceremony. During my time as MPP, I've traveled around Northern Ontario many times. I've toured the Ring of Fire and remote northern flying communities. I visited multiple mines, including a gold mine where I got the opportunity to hold but not keep a very heavy bar of gold. In opposition, I served as whip for 6.5 years, as chair of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts through the contentious Orange Air Ambulance hearings. Thank you, William Short, for your guidance and support as clerk of that committee. I had the opportunity to learn about issues and try to fix them. Issues like high and increasing costs of insurance for snow removal contractors. My private member's bill, the Occupiers Liability Amendment Act that became law last year, should make a difference to help keep insurance costs down. I'm looking forward to more freedom after a very busy 21 years as MPP. I won't miss the schedule or being away from home, but I will miss the people in this place on both sides of the House and the staff and the ability to help people. Finally, I would like to again thank my family for all their support, my wife Christine, and the kids Abigail, Renee, Stuart, and Winston, my brothers and sister Larry, Ross, and Mary, and all my in-laws. As my father always said, family is the most important thing in life. When I was first elected, our children were teenagers. My early Christmas cards, Stuart and Winston, were both shorter than me. I'm very proud of the people that they have become. Earlier this week, I did a tribute to former member David Ramsey and noted that he had retired to spend more time with his grandkids. I too look forward to having more time to spend with Beatrice, Noel, Malcolm, and Oscar. More time to take them fishing, more time to take them flying, and more time to spend trying to keep up with them on the ski hills. And Speaker, I'm sorry I've gone on a little long, but I want to thank you, the Speaker, for your indulgence. Thank you to all the members of the Chamber. I wish you all the very best in your future, whether it be here at the Legislature or elsewhere. Thank you.